Good evening. We will be doing the Bhagavad Gita from today onwards. So, today evening it is Bhagavad Gita. Tomorrow morning, day after tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. it is Bhagavad Gita. Then every day in the evening only at 4:30 it is the Bhagavad Gita continuation. There is no Bhagavad Gita on Tuesday morning. So, let us continue where we had left earlier. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 and we had completed till verse 5. Now, this is a chapter on how the Jivatma gets entrapped into the material world. So, the couple of verses that we are going to do after this, they will tell us about how this whole thing happens. Alright? So, now let us begin. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 verse 6. Neither the sun nor the moon nor fire can illumine the supreme effulgent self. Supreme self-effulgent state, attaining which they never return to this world. That is my supreme abode. Now, let us go back and see what the previous verse was talking about. It was talking about people, those who do not have any pride or delusions, who have conquered attachment. Every human being is attached to everything in this world. See, as a human being, you are attached not only to the place where you stay, to the people, those who are around you also. Let us say someone says something to you. They say that you should not be sitting over here. Go and sit in that place. The moment somebody says like this, you get upset. Why should I go and sit in that place? Or a person reprimands you and tells you that this is no place for people like you. Immediately it hurts a feeling. Anything that is going to hurt us or anything that is going to praise us to the heavens, like say for example, you are winning a prize and everybody says congratulations, congratulations, you have won this great award, and you feel mighty pleased, and after that you give a great speech saying that I want to thank my mother and father, I want to thank my everybody in this world, and I want to thank the sun, the moon, the stars, and God knows everything that you want to thank around. And last but not the least, I want to thank God, Almighty God, for thanking you for giving me this. This is called attachment. Whatever that you do, whether if you keep on liking it or disliking it, if you feel that somebody says something bad and you get upset about it, or somebody says something good and you feel mighty pleased about it, it is called attachment. You have no place in Krishna's heaven. So to be in Krishna's heaven, you have to be totally detached. Only attachment is to Krishna alone. There should be no attachment whatsoever. Let people do what they want to. Let the world say what it wants to. We should never be bothered about those people or those things. We have to constantly abide in God. All the desires that are there, they have been completely dissipated. So such a kind of a person who doesn't have pleasure, pain. Now we are talking about this person. This person, he doesn't get disturbed by anything. He is already so self-effulgent. That means the knowledge is literally pouring out from him. He is a person who has everything within him. He is the pure self. You will find these enlightened beings literally glowing. You may think, oh, he's not glowing. What I mean by glowing is not just their demeanor, not just their face, but also the way they behave in this world. They do not have any attachment of any kind to anyone. They are not bothered about things. They go about doing their job, and they are never indulging in any desire, fruits of desire. And they don't. So such a kind of a person, is there any body like the sun or the moon which can illumine this person who is already illumined? Is there any other knowledge in this world which can say, oh, we have given this knowledge to this person? There is nothing like that. He is already self-illumined. He's got his knowledge on his own. And that is the reason why it really doesn't matter to this person. So, if he has attained this kind of a knowledge, and if he has attained this effulgence, he goes to the abode of Krishna. See, he will never return to this world. That is my supreme abode. He will go only to my supreme abode. Now this is the line which Krishna has guaranteed to people, those who are enlightened. So now we move to the next verse. From here onwards, it is all about Jiva Atma. So let us see. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 7. The eternal Jivatma in this body is a fragment of my own self, and it is that alone which draws around itself the mind and the five senses which abide in Prakriti. So here there is a distinction between the things. So let us see how this distinction appears. One is called the Prakriti. In the Prakriti, if you recollect what is being said in the previous verses also, everything connected to this universe appears. Mother Nature is the mother of the five senses, the sense organs, the five elements, mind, body, everything connected to the body. That is a part of this universe, which means Prakriti is the mother of that. Now, Father, the Jivatma, which is in this body, every body who is alive, of course, they have the Jiv Atma. Now this Jiv Atma is a fragment of Krishna's own self, not the Prakriti. Did you get it? So on one side he is talking about the Jivatma, and on the other side he is talking about the Prakriti. Prakriti is the one who provides the material, and Jivatma is the one who runs this whole thing. That is the body. So let us not mix these two together. When we talk in terms of spirituality, we are talking only about the Jivatma. We are not talking about the material world at all. So anything that has to do with senses, mind, body, or whatever that you think which exists in this world, then please remember one thing, that is only connected to Prakriti. And Prakriti has nothing to do with Jivatma. But now there is something which happens to this Jivatma. Let us see what happens to it. Jivatma is a fragment, a tiny fragment of the divine, of Sri Krishna himself. So did you understand this? So let us move to the next verse. We are doing the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 8. Even as the wind wafts scent from their seeds, so too the Jivatma, who is the Lord of the body, etc., takes the mind and the senses from the body, which it leaves behind, forthwith migrates to the body which it acquires. This is a technical answer. So now understand what is happening. You are a human being. Correct? That is why you are listening to me. So you as a human being comprises of 3 bodies. You have the food body, the one that you touch, feel and see. Second one is called the subtle body. And the third is the causal body. We are now going to concern ourselves with the subtle body. Here, what is Sri Krishna telling us? Even as the wind wafts scent from their seed. Let us say you are in a room. You have just entered a room where there is an agarbatti. Okay? Or an incense stick, or flowers. They are aromatic flowers. Like we have the chameli, all those kind of, the very nice sweet smell is there. The wind in that room, the air in that room is wafting out, carrying that scent. Isn't that true? So even when you are coming nearer the room, you can smell the whole thing. So this is an example given by Sri Krishna to Arjuna. He says that just like a person who is passing by a room gets the waft, the sense, the smell of whatever is lighted in that room, he's getting that nice fragrance. In the same way, the body, when it falls down, then that means when a person dies. Do you get this? When the person dies, at that time, this Jivatma carries, taking the mind and the senses from the body which it leaves behind. The body is left behind on the earth because we burn the bodies in Hinduism, and in other religions it is buried. So now when you dispose of the body, after death what do? You dispose of the body. Now there is pandemic going on, so many people are dying. So because of that, the body gets disposed once the person dies. But now what happens? After the person is dead, the Jivatma, which is the essence of Sri Krishna himself, what does it do? It takes the subtle body of that person, the mind and the senses, it takes it and carries it to the next body. So he says, taking the mind and the senses from that dead body, which it leaves behind, forthwith migrates to the body which it acquires. There is a new body waiting for that person. What kind of a body does wait? Whatever body that you acquire. Now, here you have to understand what is the body that you are going to acquire is dependent on the way you live your life this time. If you are going to be a mean and a terrible person who is given to do all bad things in this world, then the body that you are going to acquire is going to be the lowest in the order. That means you can be a worm, you can be a small, insect or something like that, very terrible. Or you can be a ghost. Or you can be a devil. You are welcome to be all these things. But if you are a person who is good-hearted, but yet is running after money, maybe he has a family, He wants to earn for his family. He wants to run after money. He wants to make money and become little bit famous or rich. This person in his next life will get a body of a very poor person, or it could be a demon, or it could be a wild animal. So, depending on how you behave this time, your body is already planned. If you are from the Sattva Guna, then you will get a human birth. And that human birth, you will be given an opportunity to reach realization. How many people actually strive for it? Hardly anyone. A few days ago, I met a person. This person said to me that I take the name of the Lord every moment, every minute. I am always taking the name of the Lord. But when it came to transaction in the material world, a person transacts. That means whatever action that they do in the material world was contrary to the name of the Lord. So if the person may be taking the name of the Lord, but does all terrible things, from lying to taking divisive action, something which they feel terrible about, backbiting, and literally being a very mean person, the next body is going to be of a lesser animal. Person can never get a human body. Never. Even if you take the name of the Lord. Because it really doesn't matter. So here he says, there is a subtle body in everybody. We have a subtle body. After death of this physical body, the subtle body migrates to a newer body, taking with it all the senses and the mind. Now, if your mind is full of filth and dirt and all the dirty things that you are doing, you know what body you are going to get. So why would you want to get into this kind of a person? A new body which is like that. Any attachment of any kind, whatever attachment you may be having, that same person is going to be attached to the same object again. Let us say there is a person who is a glutton, loves food. Constantly the person keeps on saying, I want to eat, I want to eat, I want to eat, I want to eat. So in the next life, their subtle body goes to a place where there is so much of food so that you can enjoy as much as you want. So if you are a person like that, then you are going to be a rat found in a granary, or a bird who is coming every day to the granary. How many grains can you eat then? So naturally the kind of life that you are going to have is dependent on this life that you are leading. So you better lead a good life this time. Be your good self. Don't be a terrible person. Today in the morning I was giving a satsang. In that I was telling this person, I said, if you get attached to anybody, you don't understand the amount of trouble that you're going to get into. Maybe you don't like that person. You don't like him. Then what happens? You constantly keep on taking the name of that person, isn't it? You keep on hating that. I hate this person, I hate this person, I don't like this person, I hate this person, I hate this person. It could be an officer, a government officer who is after your blood. It could be a person in your life, you may be your own mother-in-law. It could be another friend of yours who is literally robbing you of everything. It could be your own parent who might be a miserable person. You understand? There are lots of cases where children are abused by their parents, and the child is always thinking, I will show this guy one day, I will show this guy one day. Do you know what that person has done? He has built an attachment to that person. Then this person and that come in the reverse order. But if you have attachment to God, then you will reach God. I will tell you how it happened. Remember the story of Valmiki? Or even Ravana? Now, Ravana was one day asked, you go as a person, different individuals in front of Sita. Why don't you go as Rama in front of her? He says, if I go in the avatar of Rama, because he was able to change his shape, shape and bodies, you know that. So if I go in front of Sita like that, even the great heavenly creatures, they will never fall in love with me. Because Sri Ram is a great person who is devoted to only one. So you think Sita will fall for me? Are you stupid? Likewise, Valmiki. Let us continue with Ravana. So Ravana was so obsessed with Rama. I want to kill Rama, I want to kill Rama, I want to kill Rama. That is what he used to keep on saying. And 24/7 he had Rama on his mind. Sri Ram is God Almighty, one of the avatars of Sri Krishna. Naturally, when he dies, he attains Sri Ram. Now let us come to Valmiki. Valmiki is a person who used to kill people. He would stop them in the middle of the road and he would kill them and take everything that they had and consume it, to give it to his wife or children. So every time this happened, he was incurring a lot of sin. So one day when Narada went over there, he said the same thing, I'll kill you. And you know the whole story, how he went to his wife, asked her about things, came back. And then when the mantra was given, the Khan mantra was given, say the word Rama. Rama. He was not able to say the word Ram because he used to kill people. So instead of saying Rama, he said Mara. Mara, 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 Mara. When you say Mara, 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 Mara continuously, what happens? It turns into Rama. So even this person was able to get absorbed in Sri Ram. So now think about yourself. If you are obsessed with a person, if you get attached to that person, if you get upset with your person, whoever it might be, it could be your own boss, You may think, I want to kill my boss, that kind of behavior you may have. Or, I don't like my wife, I don't like my husband, I don't like my child, whatever, Or you don't like your children, or your children hate you, whatever may be happening. And you keep on taking the name of that person and saying, I want to kill you, I want to do this to you, I want to... Don't worry, in the next life, your subtle body is going to go to another body. And because you have attachment, that other person and you will come together in the next one. So, if that other person was a villain in your life, was really a bad person, and you may be a good person, but always getting beaten by that person. So in the next life, that individual could become a worm and you could become a bird. So you get to eat the worm. End of story. See? And that is the reason why you should never be attached to anybody. Why get into somebody else's, be with that other person constantly? Be detached. Only be attached to the Lord. So now I hope you understood how this body, this particular subtle body, migrates from this body with that Atma, Jivatma, to another body. You understood this. So we do the next one. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 9. It is while dwelling in the sense of hearing, sight, touch, taste and smell, as well as in the mind, that this Jivatma enjoys the object of senses. This I will explain to you from two different angles. You have your eyes. With your eyes you see different objects. You are reading a book, you are watching some videos, you are going for a movie, you are ogling at someone, whatever you are doing with your eyes. Okay? You are dwelling in that sense. You are dwelling in that sense. That means you are in that sense. Got it? Likewise, you may be blind. You may be blind. And you're not able to see. So every time when you hear something or sense something else, you feel, I wish I could see. I wish I could see. These are the sentences that you utter. You are dwelling in your organ of seeing, the sight. Now let us come to hearing. You like to hear good music. You like to hear things going on around you, maybe a podcast or something like that. You love to hear good stuff. But you also are a sneaky person who loves to eavesdrop on people. I want to hear what they are saying, You are attached to the hearing, or the other way round. You are unable to hear anything. You are stone deaf. Nothing. You can't hear anything. Every time when a certain person speaks, you wish you understood what the person spoke. You like to do this and like to understand what the other person is speaking. But because you are tone deaf, what happens? You are not able to hear anything. And at that time you say in your mind, I wish I could hear this person talk. So hearing, on one side, you will want to hear everything, or on the other side, you are tone deaf and you want to hear something. So two ways. That attachment to that sense of hearing will make you come back. Likewise, smells. You say, I don't like this. This is so dirty smell, You are attached to the smell. And with your mind, you are saying, I don't like this smell. Or sometimes you say, oh, I love the fragrance of this. I love your perfume. A boyfriend may tell the girlfriend, I love your perfume. Why don't you wear it every time? Sense of smell. It's going after that object. Likewise, if you can't smell, I wish I could smell. Taste or touch in a similar fashion. You are attached to those objects. And that is the time when you, with your mind, enjoy those objects. Now, when I said enjoy, it meant in two ways. One is when you have that and you love to dwell in it, and when you don't have that and you wish you could dwell in it. Did you understand this too? So in both the cases, the Jivatma inside of you, it enjoys the object of senses through that new body of yours. So whatever body that you have, the Jivatma loves to enjoy those things because it gets attached to the body. So, now we will understand attachment to the body. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 10. The ignorant know not the soul departing from or dwelling in the body, or enjoying the object of the senses. That is, even when it is connected to the three gunas. Only those endowed with the eyes of wisdom are able to realize it. The ignorant, the people, those who are totally ignorant, they know not when the soul is departing. How many pictures are you seeing today where people are crying for somebody who is dying or dead? Aren't they? They are feeling terrible about that person. Many a times the person will say, I wish I had that coronavirus and not my husband. Or the wife may say that, or the husband may say that, or the children may say, or the parents may talk about the children. When the child is dying, the parents will say, I wish it did not happen to him, such a young person, Your senses are attached to that person. And at that time, you do not realize that the soul is departing. Or it is dwelling in the body. You are under the impression that that body is dead. You think the body is the soul. The Jivatma is the body. This is what your thinking is. But when you say, let the soul rest in peace, let this person rest in peace, who gives you the right to say rest in peace? That person is never going to rest in peace. That person is always dwelling in Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. There is no peace for anybody, sir. Don't be under this mistaken impression. Even you saying good words like, oh, may his soul rest in peace, or whatever that you wish to say, nobody can rest in peace. Because attachment to the body was so strong that they are not able to let go. And the people around have no clue about it. This person who is dead also has no clue about it. Neither does the person who is sitting next to the dead one has any clue about it. Attachment to the body is there. This Jivatma is so much possessed of the body. Human beings, we love the body so much that we are possessed by the body. It is actually that the soul is not possessing the body is possessing you, the Jivatma. How can the person talk to me like this? You heard people say that. You should mind your tongues. Don't talk to me like this. Okay? Who do you think you are? Your body? No. You are the Jivatma. You have nothing to do with the body. A body is a rented piece. Didn't we do it in the 2-3 verses before this? That it is something which has come from the Prakriti. Prakriti is the one which gives us on rent. She is the owner like Uber and Lyft and all those, Uber, Ola, Lyft. Okay, you can take the car for a ride, okay, you can go from one place to the other. And after that, you can't own the car. Likewise, if you are staying in a rented apartment, or you can stay in that place, but after that you have to return it back, isn't it? It's not yours. So this is the point. The body is not yours, it belongs to Mother Earth. It belongs to Prakriti. Who do you think you are to own it? If you take the ownership of the body and if you keep on owning somebody else, my wife, my children, my husband, my father, my mother, that is the property of the earth. Do you think one Uber says to another Uber car, one Uber car says to another Uber car, that is mine, Uber? No. Even today, if there is a CEO or a chairman of a company, let us say Ratan Tata is there. He can't say, I am Tata. His surname might be Tata or he might be called Tata, but he doesn't own anything. After he dies, the company will be left behind over here, isn't it? You think he's going to carry the company to the heavens? Do you think even Bill Gates or Warren Buffett of this world or whoever that other people, do you think they can carry the company? No. They have to leave behind. Steve Jobs, a great person. But when he died, he couldn't take Apple with him. I want to enjoy my apple in the heavens or in the hell. I want to make an apple pie. He couldn't afford that. Sir, the body of yours has to be left behind on earth. You can't own anything. You are not an owner of even a piece of land. You may be having a diamond today, but that diamond also is not yours once you die. You are finished. Got it? So why take so much of credit and believe that everything belongs to you? You must be the biggest idiot on earth if you think some things belong to you. They belong to Prakriti. Prakriti is the mother who has loaned them to you. So don't take ownership of it. So here when he says, you keep on enjoying these things, If you enjoy the things which belong to somebody else, it is like literally going on a ride with Uber, okay? And then telling the driver, get out from here, putting a gun to his hand and saying, get out from here, and you take the car and go for a ride. You can't do that. You are not allowed. You can't take the body for a ride. It's none of your business. It's not your property, sir. Don't even claim it. So this is what he says. But people don't understand. So he says the ignorant don't understand this. They still possess the body. They see this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. And that is why. Because it is connected to the 3 gunas. Didn't I tell you if you have one of these gunas? Let us say you are a person who is always used to giving donations, charities, being a good person, kind person. Okay? You may be a very good human being. So you are still in the Sattva Guna. You are still going to be born again. You will go and you will come back again with a new body. How do you know what body is going to be there? If you are a Raja person, a person full of Rajas, then you are going to go and come back like a demon. Or if you are a terrible person who is always given to crying or saying something, I don't know how this world is going to come to an end, I don't have money, I don't have this. People like to cry constantly, or I can't do this work, this is not possible. A person is full of tamas and is always cribbing, crying, saying all kinds of things, just feeling miserable to the core. What am I going to do? You know that kind of a person? Sir, you are going to come back like a worm. Why do you want to do that? Or maybe you will become a ghost and hang on some branch somewhere. So, this person who is an ignorant person doesn't have any clue, he is attached to the body. And because of these gunas, he has to transmigrate. But a person who is an enlightened person knows that the body doesn't belong to him, her also. The body is just one of the tools from the Mother Earth. This Mother Nature has loaned the body. This enlightened person has this constantly in mind. Its body doesn't belong to me. Nothing belongs to me. I don't have properties. I don't have money. I don't have family. I don't have children. I don't have husbands, wives, this, that. I don't have anybody. Because this body, that body, that body, that body is all belonging to Mother Nature. I am a Jivatma. After I am dead, I will go away. But if I am dwelling on the earth and keep on thinking about it, then where is the question of coming, going away for good? No, you will be coming back. So for one to realize, if you want to realize God, if you want to become self-realized person, do not possess your body and the things associated with it. Don't take possession of the body. A body is just a tool given to you, just a Uber or something like that. It's just a rented piece of apartment. You're not supposed to own it. Likewise, the people who are there with you, don't own them, okay? Just because somebody has come from your womb doesn't mean you can take ownership of that person. What are you talking about? That person also belongs to this Mother Universe, the Earth. You also belong to Earth. Why are you thinking that onus? My daughter, my son, my this one, my. Who are you to say this? My. You are going to be born again and a miserable person at it. Remember that. You may be born like a goat or a pig and somebody is going to make a nice, mutton out of you. Why are you taking possession of your body? The person that you feel, oh, he is my this one, he is my that one, he is my son, he is my daughter. Oh, what son, daughter? And you misbehaved with your son and daughter? In the next life, they are going to treat you like that. So never be attached. So don't bother about all this ownership of anything. Leave it. Only the intelligent, only the wise people have this knowledge. The rest of the people are only a flotsam, floating on the sea, nothing to do. What am I going to do? That kind of a person. Alright, so we move to the next verse now. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 11. Striving yogis too are able to realize the self enshrined in their heart. The ignorant, however, whose heart has not been purified, know not this self in spite of their best endeavors. This is a very critical statement. Please remember this statement. You cannot have off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on kind of a thing in your life. When you are in a good state of mind, you believe you are the divine being and that everything is nice. You are that part of the Krishna, that divine Krishna. You are the soul. But when something bad happens to you, immediately the anger comes in. I will show that person, I will do this, but anger, lust, greed, anything can strike you. In the worst circumstances, if you fall for it, because you are going to be tested throughout. If you are a yogi, Your enlightenment will depend upon the steadiness of that knowledge. Not off on, off on. When it is conducive, it is on. When it is not conducive, why does God do this to me? I don't understand. I'm not able to see God. What? And rest of the time, God is all powerful. He is so great. I pray to thee. But when trouble strikes a person, why is God giving me so many problems? Why is He putting me to the test? I have been asked this question millions of times by these same people who seem to have reached a state of that, greatness. But the moment they say these words, the moment the self-doubt comes in, even the doubting of the self, even the moment they doubt the Guru, they're finished. That is what happens to them. Their heart is never purified. You cannot lose your cool. Kya cool hai hum? You have to be that person who is constantly in the state of the self. If you have to act a scene and you have to be a big villain, okay, doesn't matter, you are still the self. You cannot lose that knowledge. In anger or upset or greed or lust especially, you cannot lose that knowledge and say, oh, just one more time, just one time. No one time, sir. Just one peg, one. No one peg also. If you do that, off and on switch, then your heart is not pure. For the purity of the heart, there should be nothing in this world. Nothing that will deter you. Here, I will give you one understanding. Recently, there was a person who posted a picture. Now, this becomes a story for the press. So, for the Navaratri festival, she took the photograph of the meal and posted it saying that Navaratri meal or something like that. Immediately the whole world started saying, but you cannot eat onion. You cannot eat onion during Navaratri. It is written in the scriptures, I believe. So the person responded, I am having fast. That was my brother's thali. My brother doesn't believe in all these things. He eats whatever that is there. I am a person who is having my, that 9 days, whatever that. Please remember one thing. Eating onion or whatever, other things, or non-vegetarian, vegetarian, this, that, everything is connected to the material world. It is that piece of onion belongs to Mother Earth, not you. That piece of meat belongs to Mother Earth. The spiritual people say, don't intoxicate yourself and don't get lost in lust or greed. That is what the spirituality teaches. It doesn't say that if it is there in your plate, you eat it. Who says that you cannot eat? Where is it written that you cannot eat? It is the later books which came about. By the way, 5,000, 7,000 or 10,000 years ago, there was no language written. Nothing was written. It is just a couple of centuries ago that everything got written. Do you think onions or all those things people were bothered about it during the time of Sri Ram or before that? I don't think so. Why would Sri Ram be bothered about it? I don't think any of these people were bothered about these petty things. But making such a big thing out of such stupid issue is a part and parcel of idiotic minds. You are not the body. The body belongs to Prakriti. Likewise, the onion belongs to Prakriti. Everything in this world that you see, touch, feel with your senses and your mind is connected to Prakriti. And it has nothing to do with spirituality. Do you think people, forget Hindus, all those people abroad, outside of India, who are following the different religions of this world, some eat beef, some eat pork, some eat this, some eat that, they are not going to go to any heavens? Who has said that? Where is it written? Their religion teaches that doesn't matter. Why are you bothered? Sir, everything in this world that you talk about is connected to Mother Nature. And if you are so much bothered about Mother Nature, your next life will be like a cockroach. Please remember this. Whoever takes this kind of an offense or a defense or whatever that they do, or somebody says, no, I will eat. Both people, if you are attached to that object, your next life is already guaranteed. Your rebirth is guaranteed. Doesn't matter. But these people, these yogis, they strive constantly and they never fall down. They don't make public statements. They don't indulge in politics. They don't indulge in this material worldly nonsense because they are least bothered about it. They know they are not the body. If they know they are not the body, then who cares? The body anyway has to go back to earth and it is anyway going to get destroyed there only. So what is the big deal? This is the answer which you have to always keep in mind. Are you talking about the body or anything connected with Prakriti? That has nothing to do with Jivatma. Nothing to do with spirituality. You can go and put your legs on top and your head down and do all kinds of exercise. You can do whatever you feel like. You are doing it for the body, sir. It has nothing to do with the spirit soul. Nothing to do. So why are you getting into this kind of controversies? So then let it be. Don't bother. Spirituality, the subject itself says Adhyatma. See the word. Spirituality, Adhyatmik. It has nothing to do with the physical body. Physical body belongs to Mother Earth, the universe, Mother Nature, Prakriti. Whatever you do with the Prakriti has everything to be given back. You have to leave it over here and go. But if you carry it with you in your mind, then your next life is guaranteed. Rebirth is guaranteed. But as a yogi, don't get attached to anything. Don't even bother your head about it. Your heart is pure. You have nothing to care in this world. You are not carrying anything with yourself. You don't have any attachments to anybody. You don't have bank balances. You don't have cars. You don't have bungalows. You don't have nothing. No family, nothing. Totally detached. You are free. Striving yogis are able to realize the self enshrined in their heart. But those other people, the ignorant, however, whose heart has not been purified, know not this self in spite of their best efforts, in spite of their best endeavors. You can keep on trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. Don't say, I tried. You're trying, it doesn't make sense. You have to have that one answer only. Whatever may happen in this world shouldn't matter to you. We'll do one more verse. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 verse 12. The radiance of the sun that illumines the entire world, and that which shines in the moon and that which shines in the fire too, know the radiance to be mine. People think it is the combustion that is happening, or the two things that happen, fission, fusion. The fission and the fusion on the sun is giving the light. Sir, what is Krishna saying? This light itself is me. It may come from a chula, a candle, a sun, a moon, or whatever. It is called effulgence. Okay? Even if it comes from your heart, that is me only. All this light that is coming, everything in this world, the radiance in the sun which radiates so much, it illumines the entire world. And that which shines in the moon also, the shining is there, isn't it? You can see the beautiful moon. Full moon day, you get a very beautiful moon. Otherwise, you can see it smaller, smaller, smaller. And that which shines in the fire also. All that is in the fire. That radiance is mine. It's because of me, the whole thing is radiating. What it means is, what is Krishna telling us? I am that soul, which is there not only in you, my dear friend, but it is there even in the sun, in the moon, in the fire that is there, the logs of wood that you are burning for fire. You can light a candle. Doesn't matter. In everything I am there. Got it? So everything. Some person asked me a question one day. In this inanimate object, is there God? Or is there a soul in that? Who told you it is not there? Are you not praying to inanimate objects? You go to temple and church and you pray, no? You go to the temple and you say, oh God, please help me. That's an inanimate object, sir. That's a stone. And you consider God is in that. God is that Atma. He is in that. If you can consider a stone also as God, then what makes you think that all these inanimate objects around you are not souls also? Ask yourself this question. Poltergeist, things moving on their own. You have seen the movie The Ghost? The coin moves. Okay. So now you have to understand that even in inanimate objects, it is the same Atma. And here Krishna is talking about the sun which shines, the sun which is shining up there in the sky, the one which gives radiance to the moon, the one which is giving radiance in the fire. All this radiance, even in your soul, even in your heart, the radiance that is coming from you is because of me alone. I am the one who is giving the radiance. So Krishna says these words. So we have come to the end of verse 12. We will stop over here. And like I said, tomorrow morning I will start at 6:30 a.m. Since our Uddhav Gita is over, so we will be doing Bhagavad Gita in this coming week. Saturday, Sunday, 6:30 a.m. Rest of the weekdays, it is 4:30 p.m. Alright? So I'll see you all then. Bye. Have a great evening.